Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please, for his Nerd HQ cherry popping, welcome to the stage the one and the only William effin' Shatner. Sir, your chair. I mean, what? Here, let's get you a mic.
So, my cherry hurts.
That happens sometimes at Nerd HQ.
Yeah, well, it happens once.
Yeah. Which just means when you come back next year, it won't hurt so much.
I have to wait till next year to have that spot hurt again.
It's that kind of relationship, Bill.
Every time I come to Comic-Con, I've been here several times, and I haven't been here, unfortunately, but I'm glad I'm here today. I always have something I'm doing. So I come with a purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the purpose, for example, that I'm here for is Saturday. I did a panel earlier this morning for something else, but on Saturday is the real reason I'm here at Comic-Con.
Which is what?
A new idea in comic books, an illustrated novel, a cinematographic illustrated novel. William Shatner's manowar.com. You'll see what I mean. A new idea, I think. I mean, you know, some guy in Switzerland may say, that's my idea. I don't think so.
It's always the Swiss. It's always the Swiss.
Hey, I mean, yeah, I've got a great new idea. And some guy with this is, no, I thought of that last year. That's my idea. And then he sues you, and then you got your Tom Selleck.
Too soon. Too soon.
About the water and Tom Selleck?
So what we're saying is then we should tell everybody to go to William Shatner's
Man of War panel stuff. Chuck Jones. It's off. It's not at the convention center.
Do you know where the address is downtown?
Can you find out? Somebody.
Well, we'll find out. Somebody. If you have a reception
and
down
tell me
here,
where it is, so I'll know
Google
where to go. No,
but it's Man of War, right?
I can only work an hour ahead. Otherwise, I'm lost. So I know I'm supposed to be here at Wizard World.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome William Shatner to Wizard World.
Right. I don't dare think about Saturday. I've been busy all day today, so I'm here. And I'm here because the great cause of the charity. But I'm also curious, in a small, intense audience, what you guys want to talk about and maybe explore things that we haven't, that I've not said before, which will be very difficult to do.
Does anybody have original questions for William Shatner?
Or an old question, and I'll give you another answer.
There you go. That'll work too. I think we have right down here. Do we get a microphone right down here? Hand that one down.
Hi.
God, you're close.
That's the point.
Want to sit in my lap? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. All right. Now that's close, man.
I mean,
what's your question, babe?
So, at these cons, you answer a lot of questions that people want to know, like, when's the next Star Trek? When's the next what? I want to know what you, over your incredibly long and fantastic career, have always wanted to do and never gotten the chance to.
Would you mind sitting back down?
No.
Well, I wait for opportunities to hit. I mean, I just sort of, I ad-lib my life, but unbeknownst to all of you, we're all doing the same thing. We think we're in control. I'm making an appointment tomorrow to go, you may not end up there, You know, they may be gone, you may be gone. You just don't know. So life is a happening. And if you treat it like a happening, the good and the bad, you know that the good is good and the bad will be bad, and when it's bad, it'll be good and good. And it's circuitous if you last long enough. Otherwise, it's a straight line, boom, you're dead. But we'll ignore that. That's not good advice at all. The advice is it's a circle, and what goes up comes down the other way around. So, a guy says to me, I'm at a convention. I'm at a friggin' Wizard World convention.
Yeah.
In Chicago, 2 years ago. Signing. Yeah, hello. Guy comes up to me and he says, we'd like to build you a motorcycle. So I drive motorcycles.
Is this the one that you just drove across country?
Yeah, Jesus, God.
Oh, sorry. Did I just spoil that?
I
follow you on Twitter.
In the middle of a story, for God's sake.
Oh.
You know what my wife does?
I'll go kill myself
you
now.
Say, you ought to tell a joke. You know, you set the joke up. Henny Youngman says, take my wife. She says, please. Why are you telling my laugh line?
What did you do with the motorcycle, Bill?
Oh, funny you should ask. I was just about to tell you. So a guy says, I'd like to build you a motorcycle. So I love motorcycles. I used to drive motorcycles in the desert bikes. They posted it. You can't do it anymore. It's not good for the environment and all that kind of thing. And then road bikes aren't the same, not the same as dirt bikes, but went to road bikes, big bikes, going 100 miles. Wow, 100-mile trip. Whew. Hot, cold. It's rained on me at times. There's nothing colder than being on a motorcycle and getting wet. 100 miles. Holy cats. He says, I'd like to build you a motorcycle. We're from American Wrench. We're a 100-year-old motorcycle company, and we'd like to build you. Of course. Please. Hey. Build me a motorcycle. 2 weeks later, and this is the way the ad-lib quality of our lives, a friend of mine who's a sculptor. Got your interest now?
I'm
Okay.
thoroughly glued to this right now.
I saw your eyes snap to attention there.
been snapped.
Sculptor, motorcycle. Sculptor, friend of mine. I've got some of his work in my house. You know? He says, you know, I've been thinking. I'd like to sculpt a motorcycle that would belong in the Museum of Modern Art, MoMA. I said, what a coincidence. 2 weeks ago, a motorcycle guy, and let's get together. I arrange a meeting, 3 of us get together. And we start talking like a leaping horse, motorcycle in the form of a leaping horse, modern, sort of Art Deco motorcycle. Imagine, if you will, you're driving up in the desert. Well, since you can't go in the desert, you're on a lonely road, and you're driving your car, and you see a golden horse screaming along the thing. You'd go crazy, wouldn't you? Is that a horse? No, it's a motorcycle. It's Superman! The sculptor drops out. American Wrench and I arrange this motorcycle, and I say blithely one day, you know, I'll drive that motorcycle from Chicago to Los Angeles. I said, you will? I said, yeah, I mean, well, come on. Well, I'll just get in the bike and we'll go, and we'll get a couple of bikes and we'll go. And they said, well, that's great, we'll do that. And I said, you know what, I'm going to shoot a documentary on that as well. I'll get some cameras, I'll get some GoPros, I'll get cameras, I got a camera. He said, no, my company has a part of it, I'll get cameras. You got cameras? We got. Somebody else says, American Legion wants to join and get the logistics of going from one city to another. And the American Legion does this all the time. They'll arrange and will get money for the scholarship fund for the children of fallen soldiers. Everything by accident. It's all I live. It's happening. I go to Chicago 3 weeks ago. I do press. Now, press, there's nothing to doing press. You could do a press.
She could, actually.
Yeah, no. You just say, you know, you could say something outlandish. No, I come from heaven. You come from heaven, sir? Yes. Is this guy crazy? Yes, I'm crazy. It's good copy. What's the difference? You could say anything. They would believe anything. So I'm doing national press. I'm driving a motorcycle from Chicago to Los Angeles. Ta-da! National television. Okay? Can't get near the bike. The bike is being done by American Wrench. I can't get near the bike. They won't let me see the bike. No, the bike's going to come out. But I want to shoot it, get a camera on it while it's being made. So part of the documentary. Monday night, 5 cyclones hit Chicago. We're in Aurora, 15 miles south. And we're thinking, we're going to be blasted out. I haven't seen the bike. Tuesday morning, supposed to be there at 7, it's not there. It's supposed to be there at 8, it's not there. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, the bike comes in. It's huge, it's massive. You got to go to Rivet Motors, R-I-V-E-T Motors.com, and see the most unusual motorcycle you've ever seen. We put a tent over it, and we unveil it in front of 150 people from the press. Ta-da! Yada-da-ba-ba-da-ba! I get in the bike. And nothing happens. Nothing happened. The motor starts. It's a 500 horsepower Cadillac engine, but it won't steer. Something happened from the shop to the thing. And there's 150 people saying, "You're driving from Chicago?" And so the documentary starts there. I rented a bike and 15 people, and we carted the motorcycle along with us. Showing it everywhere, you know. Look at this bike. All it needs is a little tweaking. It's a prototype. So what do I want to do? I want the bike to work. But my point is, life is a happening. And if you treat it that way, I think it works, I think. On the other hand, I could be wrong.
You could be.
Yeah.
I don't think you are.
Okay.
Bill, who do you want to answer next?
You choose.
I get to choose.
I don't want to play favorites.
Oh, I get to choose. Well, we got one from the front row a second ago.
Right. And you got to stand up and show your costume.
Hold on. Wait for a microphone. Wait for a microphone.
But there's one thing wrong.
And that one down.
There's one thing wrong, my darling.
Quickly.
No,
Yes.
it's red, and you're going to disappear very soon.
That's okay.
He makes a very good point. Are you part of the landing party?
Let's get to move on.
Part of the landing party. Yeah. Exactly.
I have 2 questions. One, can I ask my question on your lap?
The hell?
Wow. Forget the question, baby.
Oh, dear Lord.
You see how life is a happening to you? Is it happening to you? Because it's happening to me.
Seize the day.
Can we show this on television?
What? Seize the day.
Correct.
Yeah.
And your question, please.
Yeah.
And your
My
question.
question.
I'm seizing the day right now. Did you say bidet?
No.
No. Oh,
the
okay.
day,
Go.
yes. So, do you think we can convince them to bring back T.J. Hooker, and maybe you're the police chief?
And the what?
You're the police chief.
I'm the police chief.
If they brought back T.J. Hooker.
You mean I can't go out on patrol?
Well, you could. You'd be very active.
Yeah. Well, I am. As you may have noticed. T.J. Hooker was a great deal of fun for me. The police taught me how to use, and I've forgotten, there's a number, like an S68 or 79. They put a handle on a nightstick. So there's a nightstick. What is it? PR-24. A PR-24. So
You guys
had
really
a
know
half
your
a stick.
nightsticks.
So you put a handle on your nightstick, if you know what I mean, and you call it a PR-24. All right? Okay. So all the police, some engineer did was put a 6-inch handle on the nightstick, and it became a whole other weapon.
Because you can use it.
This way, that way, this way.
Yeah.
It becomes another thing. And they got very handy with it. I mean, I took lessons in it. Police taught me how to do it. And I kind of used it as the gimmick for the fight as best I could. If Hooker got into a fight, he uses PR-24. 24 is not the right number. It is? You're a policeman? You're under arrest. PR-24. So that got to be great fun. Then we spent summer months shooting, jumping from roof to roof on the hot white roofs of Los Angeles, chasing the bad guys. And my singer friend, Jimmy.
Mariah Carey.
I wish. Jimmy. What? No, Jimmy Darren. Jimmy Darren. So Jimmy Darren was wonderful, great, handsome. You know, he was one of the. He had one phobia. Not very important. He hated birds, which is what you see on the roofs of downtown Los Angeles. Numerous birds, mostly pigeons looking for food and crapping on your feet. And he would be like taken out, like he couldn't shoot. Oh my God, there's a bird. Oh God, just, no, cameras. It's a bird.
Yeah, you got to use a PR-24 on that bird. To show you what's for.
It was a great deal of fun. T.J. Hooker.
But if they brought it back, would you?
What I do? Well, you know, there's something called aging.
What is that?
Well, my boy, it will happen to you one day. Little Zac Levi with all his...
It's happening. It's happening.
That's nothing. Dig deeper, my boy, dig deeper. So, you know, as much as I would... And playing the captain, I'll tell you what, gentlemen, go get the bad guy, smash him up, make him bloody, bring him back in, I'll be here. I don't want to do that. So, I got to do something else. Okay? Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Serenity fan in the back there. Very shiny hat.
Well, I don't know. Sorry. I don't usually need a microphone, but I was going to ask about you learning to practice playing with your nightstick, but I realized that there's a child in the audience. So I was going to say, throughout your illustrious
Children
career...
know more than you think they do.
Well, apparently if they listen to you, they do.
And did you hear the tone? The tone? It was really... It was an acid note there. It was friendly, but it was acid. You know what she's like at home.
Oh,
She could
honey,
go over
you
the
have
edge.
no
and
idea
she
what
could
I'm
go,
like at home.
Oh, I have an idea now.
Admit it. You're intrigued. Admit it.
What is your question, young lady?
Let's forget the question and just be intriguing.
Well, but throughout your illustrious career and all of these cons and everything that you've done and the fans that you have met, is there that one moment, whether it's something incredibly intense or simple, that really just solidified with you why you do what you do? That moment that gave you that great joy. That
Are
you
you
can always
saying
rely on?
work-wise or fan-wise?
In regards to a fan coming up to you and either thanking you for something or giving you, any sort of interaction with a fan where you're like, no, this is why I do what I do. This is that one moment that I can always think about that makes me realize why I'm so happy that I do what I do.
Yeah, it happens quite a bit. The show Star Trek had a mystical effect on a lot of people. And more than anything I've ever done, but more than what I've ever heard other people do, other actors that I know that have been in popular shows, somehow Star Trek intrigued people. I wanted to do a documentary. The concept was the 5 captains of Star Trek, and see what the relationship, what the ties that bound us together, the things that were different. So examine the 5 actors, but their personal life. I thought it was an interesting idea, but I needed to get all parts.
You notice
I'm
how
Canadian. Woo, woo, woo.
they're the politest twos as well. They're like,
I'm not American. Woo. So there's a big aeronautical manufacturing company called Bombardier, Bombardier, but in Canada it's Bombardier. I get on the phone. I call the main number, Bombardier. I don't know anybody. Can I speak to the CEO? Yes, is the CEO? No, he's not. Who is it? It's this guy. He says, yes. I said, Shatner. No. I said, I'm trying to make a documentary, and I'm wondering if I featured your plane in a documentary, could I borrow a plane? He says, of course. He sends a plane. We get the plane. And we pick up a Canadian crew. He's in Toronto on the runway. Steve Arcieri, something like that. Steve, thank you so much. He says, no, thank you. I watched Star Trek. Because of you, I became an aeronautical engineer. As a result of being an aeronautical engineer, I head up this large airplane company, and as a sense of whatever, respect, payback, here's this glorious 15-person airplane. All our crew, everything, flew all around. They paid for the gas, paid for the thing. All because he was influenced by Star Trek. That thing in every degree, from casual, I use Kleenex because of Star Trek, to my life changed because of, it's been phenomenal. The people that I have met, astronauts, doctors, scientists, people who are influenced. What I feel is the sense of mystery, the awe and wonder of science, of what's out there, and how soon will we know about it? Because every day something's being scraped away. Oh my God, through an opaque window, you're looking, what is it? So that the latest things like dark matter, what? Dark energy, dark matter, 11 universes. Oh my God, there's all kinds of strange things that Newtonian physics don't even come anywhere close to. But things wink in and out of existence. You look at it, it winks in. You don't look at it, it winks out. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
And nobody else does either. And it's this awe and wonder that I think was part of Star Trek that made people's minds go, wow, I'd like to pursue that question. And so in every area of exploration, Star Trek had some kind of influence. And so on a large basis, people being influenced, I see it all the time, and I'm in awe and wonder of it.
I recently found out that Star Trek was the only television show that Martin Luther King Jr. let his children stay up to watch
No
on
kidding.
television.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was a recent factoid that I learned, and I was totally bowled over by. But also simultaneously was something that I understood. You guys were groundbreaking. You were breaking racial barriers before racial barriers could be broken down.
We did. We broke air too at times. It was just,
Maybe that's what he loved about it. It was a very gassy show. Let's come over here. Let's go. You in the back there. Yes, you, young lady.
Hi. What did you think of Gishwas this year? What items did you do? And what do you think your chances are for this coming year?
what she's referring to is a treasure hunt by. No, I'm just a
Misha
party.
Collins?
Yeah, Misha Collins. So Misha started something. It's part of this whole Twitter thing. There's this bubbling cauldron of gossip, okay? Of information that is incidental. It's just, look what I'm doing here. I am. What am I going to? But it's energy, and it's people talking, and it's people interested, and it's back and forth, and Misha Collins, and so part of the problem, which is slowly being solved, of the social networks, is people with money who want to make money on it can't figure out how to make money, because once you start to make money, people leave, go elsewhere, like little panels like this.
Don't go anywhere.
You know what I mean? It's little places, things that, like fervent things happen. And once it becomes ordinary, it's of no value.
Yeah.
So Misha Collins found out a way to do a treasure hunt and raise money for charity. And we got into it hot and heavy in terms of, because the things you had to do were incredible. Took time and energy and money, and the winner got, I think, $20,000 for the charity. Yeah, and he was so kind, because we tried really hard to win, because purportedly we have a competition going, but he's really the sweetest, most wonderful. Don't tell anybody. And so he gave us, my charity, Hollywood Charity Horse Show, $10,000. So not only did a charity, and I've forgotten who got it, 20, but another 10. So there's money there going, and which, by the way, we tweet my charity, and as a result, people answering back send us things to auction, valuable things to auction. So our silent auction is almost making as much money as the whole charity, everything, all the sponsors and the horse show and the donations and the tickets. And I get name performer to perform at a party. It's almost superseded by the donations from people like yourself.
That's pretty incredible.
Which, by the way, while I'm talking about donations. So I'm on this motorcycle ride and I'm stopping. I'm stopping at American Legion posts from St. Louis to Kansas City to Amarillo, anyway, all across Las Vegas, about 8 cities. And I go to the post. Now, I've never done this before. I've worked with veterans. I've got horse therapy for veterans and things like that in charity. If you meet these guys who fought our wars, who are lodged in some place where they're barely comfortable and forgotten, and you shake their hand, and you look into their eyes, and I met guys from World War II, rheumy-eyed, shaking hand, giving me $5 for the scholarship fund. The American Legion finances their scholarship fund for the children of fallen soldiers through donations that are $5 and $10 and $15 from all these legionnaires. They're giving from their fixed salary. A guy gave me a check, it might have been for $50, and I said to the camera, look at this. And he said, no, don't show it. I'm embarrassed by the amount of money that I had to put on it. Oh my God. Charity is giving till it hurts, and that hurts them. And they're giving money. So all these $5 and $10 bills, think about it. They add up to charities, and that's the way a lot of charities like mine collect their money to help, in our case, needy children.
I am a firm believer in the idea that, you know, while you can have very big benefactors, and there are very wealthy people in the world that can give very big checks, collectively we can all give $5, $10, $20, affordable amounts.
What you're doing here is exactly what I mean, and that's incredible.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. We get to do it. We get to do it because people like you believe in it enough to come and hang out with your fans and spend an hour answering their questions. So thank you to William Shatner.
You know, when those guys thanked me for coming there, and I was talking to the press in each city and saying basically this, you know, remember the guys, and I'd see their eyes, and they say, thank you for paying attention, doing this, and I'm looking at them thinking, God, thank you. The honor is mine to be able to try and help these men who did so much. Yeah, incredible.
Do you want to pick? You want to pick next?
No,
next Bill?
I want you to be.
I'll be the judge of that. Sir, you right there in the back. I just got the rock and roll sign. I appreciate it.
Thank you. After your documentary on the captains, was there anything profound that changed for you personally? You know, your perspective when you look at your career, or anything, you know, in regards to your career with Star Trek and how you felt after meeting and talking to the other captains. Did anything profound happen as a result of that documentary?
Well, I'm writing a book on friendship, and mainly Leonard Nimoy, who was a dear friend of mine. And I examined the question. In fact, it'd be an interesting thing to pose to your audience, or our audience. My thought, not even my thesis, but my thought is men have more trouble making friends than women. That's my thought. Do any of you think that's wrong? So you basically agree with me? Not that there's something different in our natures. It's something different in the way our culture works for men and for women. Women seem to be able to make friends I mean real friends, not let's go shopping or have an ice cream. I mean with sprinkles. But
Real friends get ice cream with sprinkles, Bill.
But I mean really, really meaningful friends. And I'm trying in the book to define what that means. Like, what does a real friend mean? Sure, you're dying. I'm going to call George. George, I'm dying. Come and get me. Well, George said, yeah, I'll be right there, you know. But first of all, I got to feed the dog, you know, whatever. what is a real friend? What does that mean? What is a real friend? Other than somebody, a couple you might go out to dinner with. Oh, no, your job is you're insecure about your job. I understand. Don't be insecure. It's limited. What is, where in the dark of the night can you go to somebody? And I found it in my wife. Well, that's unfortunate, but that's life. You know what I mean? Life, it happens. And but where is the friend? Where is the profound friend? And how many do we have in a lifetime? And what is the definition? And Leonard was of that category. He was the profound friend for me. So, and the only one I ever had in all my life. And only arrived at latter day, you know. So I spent my whole childhood and growing up, and then got busy as an actor and actors' lives. I'm talking in the book about friends that actors make. Making a film, television, theater, movie, whatever it is, in a way, the people that have created that entity feel that they're at war. They're at war with the weather, they're at war with the budget, they're at war with the people with the money, they're at war with the guy who won't learn the lines, we're at the war with the director who doesn't know what he's doing, the cinematographer blew a light, the delay, I'm tired, we're at war, but we're at war, we're together. Oh, God damn, you're my best friend, man. And you could do, you hear about casts, they're my best friend. I love them. Closing party, you have a party usually at the end of a show, you know, oh my darling, God, I'll call you tomorrow. Oh, I'm so sad we're partying. Tomorrow, when they get an offer of another job, they're on the other job. So sorry. I meant to call you yesterday when I promised my best friend that I would call, but I'm working. I'll call you next week. I'll call you next month. I'll call you next year. I'm not going to call you. And that's what happens as actors. We bind in this war. We're like soldiers at war, and then the war's over, and you disperse because you do disperse, and the friendship's over. Where is that binding tie that you hope your spouse or your partner is? And that's usually the case, I guess. And when that fails, that's the end of the relationship, in my opinion. I'd like to hear from some of you about that idea, anyway. On the other hand, maybe I wouldn't. Might bring tears to my eyes. Next.
Next question. You, sir, on the aisle, right here with the hat and the glasses.
If you could go forward in time, how far forward would you want to go? And would you expect it to be a better world or a worse world? I mean, what would you find there?
Unfortunately, it's not funny. So, I'm trying to remember the show I did that I held a symposium of futurists. Tech War. So I was doing this, I'd written some books, and I thought publicity buys would be a really good, get futurists on a stage and talk about that very question, okay? So every futurist worth his salt takes his prognostication with a little bit of salt. You know, I'm going to make it more palatable what he really thinks. But I got all 7 guys backstage before we went on, like a half an hour. So we're sitting around talking. What do they really think? It's really dire. In the headlines today, Governor Brown is talking about the troglodytes who won't listen to global warming. Everything is changing. There's a theory called Gaia. Do any of you know the Gaia Theory? The Earth is alive. The Earth is an alive entity. For example, the Earth regulates its temperature. It goes between whatever it is, 50 degrees below zero to 120, 30, and it falls in those extremes. Mostly it's 50, 60, 70, 80. The Earth regulates the salt in the ocean. The Earth has been here 5 billion years. It's had water on it. The water condenses, falls as rain, condenses, falls as rain, and leaches from the mountains all the salts which flow into the ocean. Theoretically, if the water's been around 3 billion years when the Earth has cooled off, it should be pure salt, should be reeking with salt. It isn't. It is at the same percentage of salt it was 1 billion years ago. How is that possible? If you leave a pail of ocean water out in the sun and the water evaporates, there's a whole film of salt there. Why doesn't that happen? What is the ocean doing? What is Gaia doing? Oceans like the Mediterranean have over the years, over the eons, opened and closed. It may be around, I think it's the Rock of Gibraltar, actually, like the linchpin, but somewhere in the the joining of the Atlantic and the Mediterranean, that opening has opened and closed over the years, over the eons. And when it closed, the Mediterranean Ocean evaporated. In fact, there's a theory that when it opened, and it opened suddenly, and the water gushes, and the Mediterranean now becomes another ocean, that was the basis of the flood in the Bible.
Really?
Yeah, that's a theory. It's a possibility.
Is Atlantis supposedly had been in the Mediterranean?
Absolutely, a part of the theory. But we know geologically, this ocean's been opening and closing, and what's happening is that underneath the Mediterranean are all these salt beds. So the ocean has been allowing the salt to become solid over another period of time before the water comes back. Earth goes over it, locks the salt in place. The water comes back, and the salt has been regulated. The Earth is alive in this theory of Gaia, and we are bacteria on the body of Earth. Gaia is in severe trouble. Gaia is not dying. Gaia will live. The bacteria, the things living off of Gaia, are in deep trouble. And the governor in the Los Angeles Times today, probably in San Diego as well, is calling on everybody all over the world to recognize the deep, deep problems that we have. And unless we solve them very soon, the tipping point of not being able to come back. So we'll be all right. Your children will suffer, but it'll be all right. Your children's children are beginning marginal. 100 years from now, if we don't do something now, Gaia will continue and life will continue, but mankind won't be around. That's what I think.
Is that what the seven futurists, they all agreed on this theory?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I hope I'm a good bacteria.
Well, if you think that the Sahara Desert was a lush forest 12, 15,000 years ago, that's what geological change can do. There was a lush forest, had enough wood around it so that the pyramids were built rolling logs from that forest. They theorized the currents in the North Atlantic changed for one reason or another, and the lush forest became a desert, desertification.
Jeez.
And it's important to have a duality about it. We're going to live through this, but we got to do something about it. So you can not be depressed. It's the point where it affects your quality of life. But we got to do something about it. It should inspire us to get the message out and to do something about it.
Did that answer your question? Yeah. Right over here. We got time for maybe two more after this.
Hi. Apart from Star Trek, what would you want to be remembered for? Your number one thing and why?
Well, you know, you hear people say, "Well, my family and my," I of course, my kids, worship them, but I'm into a great sport that has taken me 30 odd years or more to become adept at. I ride horses as a reiner. Reining horses followed let's see how I can simply explain it. It's a sport, reining, like jumping, only this is called reining. And in the cowboy days, when they rounded up the calves would react. So the men on horse would have to run after the calf. The calf might suddenly stop, so the horse would have to slide to a stop. The calf might dart this way, so the horse had to do a 180-degree turn, roll back, and go that way, and gallop down, slide there. They might want to round that calf up, so they do a fast circle around the calf, and then slowly slow down so that they could doctor the calf, fast and slow circles. When the calf darted this way and the horse was on the left lead, it would change leads, so you had to change leads. Sliding stop, change the leads, fast and slow circles, and turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn to the right, left. That's the alphabet like ice skating, like the ice skating alphabet. And then they have to do the moves, but they can put them in different order. So there are different patterns using those moves. That's highly skilled. It takes years to train a horse and years to learn how to do it. I've put my 10,000 hours in. I've begun to win at my age. I'm winning. I've won buckles. I've won a saddle against 18-year-olds who were born on a horse. It hurt, but they were born on a horse. That was their cherry. And I'm really proud of a belt buckle that I got this year, for example, winning a whole against 100 competitors, and I've got things like this to do as well. And that's one thing that I'm proud of, just the effort it took to become skillful enough on a horse to get a blue ribbon.
If I could answer your question, it would be Denny Crane. That's what I would say. Because it was awesome. We got time for maybe one more. Bill, any thoughts? I'm still picking. Who wants to give me money? You did, and you also got a picture for it.
You can't do that.
You right there. Oh, Sandrine, come on, stand up, darling.
First, I want to tell you that I commiserate with you as far as the friend thing goes. So it is not just you or men. If that makes you feel better or worse, I'm not sure. But
As long as I feel.
yeah, exactly. And my question, so you have been known iconically for a lot of different things, and also as an actor. So a lot of times people have a sense of who you are already. Do you ever have a hard time being that way, just finding time and the opportunity to just be Bill?
I'm striving, like right now, to be entirely myself, without any filter, to express to you my feeling about your questions. And I'm trying to do that as an actor, to scrape away every filtering, every part that gets in the way between a direct communication of me and you, whether I'm on stage or whether it's a camera. I want to be totally exposed to what you think I'm thinking. I want to be there solely, like you want to be with your good friend, with your deep friend, to absolutely not put down all the barriers and say, this is me. Now, there's an artifice that an actor does, says words that aren't his, in an emotion that isn't his, but it is his or hers. It can be. And so I'm trying in my life to scrape away every artifice, my life and my art, to scrape away every artifice.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for William Shatner. William Shatner, everybody.